Welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at how to create interactable objects using Reach SDK. So in the previous videos we create these chairs which are static, and some of it is dynamic and has rigid body. So today we're going to go ahead and create an object that we can actually pick up and even throw and move around and so on, and do some fun things with it, and using what's called the Reach Interactable script that comes with the Reach SDK. Let's get started. So first off, what should I make? I'm going to try to look for something that's already there. I'm going to go ahead and use the search tool in my project, and I'm going to look for prefabs. Right, so I can see that, okay, all my prefabs are pretty much people and the Reach SDK itself. So I don't have a whole lot of prefab that I can just grab. I can actually fix this just by going to Asset Store, search online, looking for things. For example, I can go and look for, let's say, objects. All right, and you can see all kinds of stuff that you can look, but this is not what we're going to be able to do right away. So let's think about what we can actually make. Maybe a sword. How about that? Is there a free sword out there? Not really. What about I don't know, hammer? What about hammer? There's a free hammer. How about that? Let's go ahead and take this hammer. I'm gonna grab it real quick, add to my assets, open in Unity. I'm gonna skip through this real fast because you all know how to use this. Alright, now I can actually go and look for the prefab and see, yep, there's a hammer prefab. How about that? Alright, I'm going to go back to my scene, and really quick I'm going to look for a place where I can put this hammer. So why not just put it right here? Right, I'm gonna go ahead and create some kind of well, not, I'm just gonna go ahead and put a hammer there. So drag and drop, here's my hammer. All right, so what I need in order for my hammer to work with the Reach is I need to make sure that, one, I don't have an animator. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the animator. Usually things don't come with animator, but some do. Usually removing it's a good practice. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit add components, and I'm going to look for interactable, and then I can see that Reach Interactable is what I need. And notice when I do that, it automatically put a rigid body in for you. And with Reach Interactable, another thing we need is we need to create a collider, because right now this hammer, it's just a geometry. It doesn't tell the game engine where it would detect collision, meaning if you put your hand into it, it won't know that your hand is actually intersecting with this object. So in order to do that, I simply use Box Collider. The Box Collider, don't use a 2D, use the normal Box Collider. And once you do that, you'll see there's a little box cube around it. Deselect the use gravity and see what happens. Not only that, I'm going to select on it, and I'm going to show you a little bit of a prefab trick. Okay, what I mean by that, remember when we searched prefab? This is another really good thing about Unity, is their prefab system. A prefab is a way to make changes to multiple instances of the object, of a class of an object, all at once. Imagine you have multiple scenes. Imagine this is you don't just have the scene, you have, let's say, 10 other scenes that uses hammer. And if I want to change something about this hammer, and let's say per scene I have 10 hammers per scene. If I have 10 scenes, that's 100 hammers, right? In order to go and hunt down every single one of those hammers to change every little properties, and it could be a lot of properties, that could be a very, very daunting task. That's why Unity prefab system is very helpful. Basically, when you see something that is highlighted in blue, that means it's a prefab. Prefab meaning that you can actually make changes across multiple scenes and multiple references at once. And what I mean by that is this guy, I just downloaded from a website, from an asset store, and then it goes and lived in my hammer folder right here. And if I expand that folder, I will see that model right here. That's where the prefab is, right? So I can actually go in and in the inspector, select. It's going to jump to where that file lives, right? If I want to make a copy of this, just for reference, I can. So that way, if I make changes, I can come back later. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have it selected, Control D to duplicate, and I can see the hammer one. I'm gonna go ahead and click on the name and rename it original. All right, so I just basically make a copy and then do it as a original. So in case I need to fall back to it, it's a good practice to have, but it's not necessary. So I'm gonna go back to my hammer. Now what's happening is this particular hammer, it's different than the one that it's referencing from. If I look at the properties, notice it doesn't have the things I just added, which are the Reach Interactable script, rigid body component, and the box collider, right? It doesn't have that, but it did have that animator that I originally deleted it. So if I click on here, I can see that this animator was removed. You see that little minus sign, and rigid body got added. Reach Interactable got added. This is just basically a quick referencing of how this particular prefab was modified. So in Unity, that's how you can actually keep track. The other way you can keep track is when you go look at the prefab row here, click the drop down, and you can see that overrides to hammer in scene. Okay, what that means is Unity is telling you that in this particular scene is using a prefab called hammer, and this hammer in this particular scene have been modified according to this. Basically, rigid body was added, reach was added, this was added, and this was removed. And what's cool is I can go back and I can revert back to where it was. If I revert, it just gonna, all right, I'm gonna put the animator back to the game object, but I don't want to do that, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove that again. So as you become more familiar and make more stuff in Unity, this will become a second nature to you. So it might sound a little confusing and daunting at first, but don't worry. It's like playing a guitar or riding a bicycle. Once you get it, you get it. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to the override option and hit apply all. Boom. What did I just do? So what I did was I basically tell the prefab that whatever I made changes to in this scene, I want that to apply to all the prefabs, meaning everything else that I have referenced as hammer will get the same changes, if that makes sense. So that's basically how you can use prefab, which is pretty cool. All right, what's next is I'm going to go ahead and make multiples of these. So I'm going to go ahead and Control D. I'm going to hide my gizmo so I don't see all those icons. And I'm going to do my old trick. I'll drag this out. Control D. Again, Control D. I'm going to have hammer party here. I'm going to have hammers everywhere. Alright, so we have a whole bunch of hammers. Alright. So when you walk over here, you're going to see a whole bunch of hammers laying around. And as you can see, there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff to keep track. So I'm going to go ahead and go to dynamic, because this, after all, is dynamic. And I'm going to create another empty game object. I'm going to name it Interactable. And I'm going to parent this under that Interactable. Right? Just to keep things nice and tidy. All right. That's it. So I have my prefabs, and they're all not going to be having gravity, meaning when you walk in, everything is going to be floating around. Okay? And you'll see how that looks. All right. I'm going to go ahead and upload the world and then see what we got. And here we are. Here's a hammer. As you can see that when you hit it, it will just float like it's in space. And I can move around like this, and I'm going to stay here. And over with the Oculus Quest, I'm going to join this room and then record what I see there. Here I am in Reach VR. I am scrolling to find the world that was created. There it is, Jedi Temple. And the interface is pretty much the same. And I see that the world has already been created, so I'm going to go ahead and hit join. It's going to download everything, and then I should be in the world. Here I am. I am in Reach or Jedi Temple, and I'm going to make my way towards where that where all the chairs are. So I find there they are. And on my computer screen right here, I should see my VR version. Here it is. I might look a little weird. I am actually sitting in front of the screen and trying to peek through with my head and the little crevices I have in the between the nose of the Oculus Quest. And here I am. Yes, I look very silly. It looks like I really have to go to the bathroom or something, but I'm actually sitting on a chair. That's why I look like that. Anyway, I can see that I can grab the hammer and I can throw it around. You can see that the hammer is not syncing over the network, and I'll show you exactly how to fix that. Here's the reason why in VR I didn't see anything sync, because the sync precision and rotation and scale was not checked. So what I'm going to do here is I'm not only just going to apply to one hammer, I'm going to apply to all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the hammer, hit open. I'm going to go to sync precision, sync rotation. Don't worry about everything else now, just do the precision and rotation. And then you're going to hit this little arrow here back, or save. You can just save right now. Now it's going to apply to every hammer. So now when I go back and click on a different hammer, so notice that sync, precision, and rotation, they're all selected. So now if I go back to Reach and show you in VR again, you'll see that they're all synced. Well, let's go ahead and do that. All right, it's uploading, and once that's done, I'm going to head back into VR, and then I'm going to show you how they all are syncing with the precision and rotation. And then I'm going to wait for my VR self to log in, and here I am. So let's go ahead and head in. So there it is. This is where all the chairs are. I should be in view right now. Here I am, looking all swell. All right. So now if you're looking at my VR screen, notice that my hands are missing. So I will show you back in Unity to fix that. But there it is. I can actually hold the hammer and look. Guess what? So inside Unity Desktop, I can see that I have my hammer, and I can manipulate the object. I can throw it to my PC self like that. So you kind of get the idea. So now I'm going to control my PC self and walk around, and then I can actually look at my PC self in VR. And this is kind of hard because I'm actually looking at VR and control my guy using the mouse and keyboard. So as you can see, the physics are being applied to both parties, and then they're syncing really well. And that is Reach platform for you. So in the next videos, we're gonna getting more programming side using Playmaker. Do a lot more fun things like guns, launching rockets, kinds of stuff. So alrighty, until next time, thanks for watching.